We are on Facebook Live.
Yes, we are. Yeah, I know. We were on
mics are on
Facebook
now.
Live. People just watching.
Our
us
mics,
on our phones.
our mics on now. Hey, hey. No, I knew we were on. What's up? What's up? We're the Freestyle Freaks. I'm Ralphie Ryan, and this is HoundsRadio.net. What's up? What's up? What's up, Billy? How you been?
What's up, man? I almost slept through the show.
Yeah, like me too. I almost slept. We got here a little late. I slept. I guess he slept. We just got up.
Nah, I wasn't asleep, man. I just took all my clothes off. That's why I got on shorts right now.
Oh yeah, you sent me a text and I just replied to it just now.
Yeah, just now.
Yeah, you know, so it's true. You know, white boys are not the only ones that go out in the cold in shorts, but it is still white boy syndrome.
40 ounces in the rough.
Yeah, it takes me back to my old days. I used to camp out in front of Little Liquors. I used to do that back in the day.
Took 40 ounces in the rough.
Not 40 ounces of ginger ale back in the day. But alcohol. So, how was your weekend?
Nice. I had a nice spin to it. Shout out to the comedy show that I did at Champions.
Were you? It was your show, or you were filling in, or?
No, I was actually a guest, or should I say the host for the show. Fellow comedian PB So Icy. He's doing an hour stand-up special DVD recording. So he wanted.
So let me guess.
He wanted me to host it.
Everybody's now following your step now.
Yeah, I ain't got no problem with that though, man. You know, because I mean, like since he came in the gate, you know, he just been asking me like, how do you do this? And how do you do that? And what do you do with this? And what do you do with that?
So
and I just been
what does it feel? How does it feel like to have somebody follow your lead?
Let me see. I accepted it. I embraced it from the moment. I mean, initially, like when he asked me, he was like, I want you to be my mentor in this, or you know, show me the ropes. And I was
Please
like,
don't.
And I was like, no.
Please don't. No, you don't know what he's about. I'm just joking.
I was like, no. And, because I felt like it probably would have been too much pressure. Like anything that caused me like to have to lead somebody else. Like same thing with recovery. Like people want me to be their sponsor, and I'm like, no. Like that's what people who feel comfortable in doing those positions. You know, okay, I got clean time, man, and you know, I make meetings, and you know, I still look over step work. But if you wanted to come out, you know, right, or everybody recovers different, but if you wanted to come out the right way or a certain way, I don't want to program you with all the messed up stuff that's inside my head and then have you thinking all radical and all this other stuff. So I know I'm not qualified for that.
You having them smoke those fake cigarettes.
Yep, all of that, man. Be trying to holler at girls and then all type of other stuff, man. So I just leave well enough alone.
Do you know, when we first started, I was a freaking chain smoker. I'd be out there smoking like 5 cigarettes, okay? And now I don't even do that.
Right.
And you're still smoking the same fake cigarette.
No. I switched up. It was Logic now.
Yeah, you switched up. You switched up.
But you wouldn't become a speaker to professionally tell people how to stop smoking. You'll just give them your own words, your own advice.
It was easy. Well, no, I'll take that back. Oh, hell no, it was not easy. But, you know, I made it look easy because, you know, my body, myself was, you know, it was time. It was time. I smoked through my later years of my high school years. I'd be in the back of the school, you know. You know, the gym teacher comes down and says, "Hey, what the hell are you doing out here?" So I'm actually smoking a cigarette. I'm like, all right, hurry up and get back into class. You know, from those days to like, you know, just 2-3 years ago, I used to be off and on smoking cigarettes all the time. And I find it like I'm still impressed that I still haven't gone back. I miss it, you know. I miss, you know, those, you know, smoke breaks. You know, everybody goes, "Oh, well, can I take a 5-minute or can I go 10 minutes? You know, I'll be back. I'm gonna smoke a cigarette." And you know, like, I miss it, but you know, I feel better without it. So that's That's my.
Yeah, that's the benefits of it. You know, once you stop, man, you pick up better, more productive habits.
Well, I
You know,
feel
I can
like
say that my life has been going great since I put drugs down.
I feel like that I breathe a little bit better. Back when I used to smoke, I was just I was always out of breath. And now I'm better. You know, now I feel a little bit better, refreshed,
Man,
I have
you
more
start
life in me.
eating more, eating better. Your taste buds, are on 1,000 because everything.
I don't think
tastes great.
I don't think I eat more or eat better.
I could
I
definitely
think
say
I
the food
still
tastes
eat.
better.
I still eat the same. Food to me doesn't really taste different. It's it's just I eat it, still eat it, no matter.
I'm a heavyweight trapped in a featherweight body.
So your weekend spun out pretty good.
Yeah, man.
How was your Valentine's Day?
Valentine's.
How was it?
It was Valentine's.
Thursday. The 14th of February.
I mean, listen,
Money.
right?
It's more of a conspiracy to go out and spend money.
Consumerism.
Because in the cold, because nobody's doing nothing. So.
Um, like I'm probably like a majority of people in the world. Like in your mind, it goes great. Rose petals going to the bed, and then the jacuzzi, and then like all of this other stuff.
This is what you were doing.
You know how rich people do.
This is what you're doing. This is what you were doing.
No, that's what I would. That's how I envision in my head, but it never goes that way. But because it's like when you're dealing with life, man, and just like life all, and then the kids and this is that and the third. Like nobody's pressed to go find a babysitter to get rid of the kids and then like go rent like this $300
I haven't been
hotel and this rose petals leading up to the bed and all type of money and candy.
Since my son has been born, I've only probably went out 3 times, 4 times. Like most of those times were work related. So yeah, I definitely get that. Valentine's we just went out to eat for lunch. We had the junior with us. He stuck through most. Well, I picked him up here, and he was all right. And it wasn't that bad. My Valentine's Day was chill. We didn't get each other anything.
Normal, regular.
I did get her. I did get her. She had to work, so I had to pick up the kids. And brought the kids at home, and then I realized I had to go get her something. So I got her something really, and then I had to like pull it off, and then she got mad at me because the kids were up late. So. But I pulled it off anyway. Got yelled at, but kind of got, and it worked out.
I kept it simple, man. I did the movies.
I kept it simple too, but I still got yelled at. But still, well, over the weekend also. Well, Thanksgiving. I mean, no, not Thanksgiving. Excuse me. Valentine's Day turned out to be. Last week we were talking about buy power. And this week, last week, I used to. Was that creepy? How he just jumped in. All of a sudden, I just started talking about buy power, and all of a sudden he just turns on the music. That was a little creepy, but all right. So back to buy power. Before, Ruben came in and jumped in that cue with the music. I decided to get new DJ equipment. So yeah, I upgraded my equipment from X amount of years ago to something more industry-ish, I guess. So yeah, that's my new thing. There's that set up.
Oh, you got it hooked up already.
Yeah. Oh, come on.
Nice.
Cost me it was I had to use that buy power we were talking about last week. But I put it in it. It worked out. It is gonna it's gonna tighten up my pocket for a while.
But it's an investment.
It's an investment because I can yield more money from it. So.
Yeah. Over time, yeah, of course.
And it was more. I was inspired more because Hamilton Radio's going to get a new studio. So, what better way to get acclimated with the new studio with new equipment. So and we were talking about me DJing over there a couple times and stuff like that. So, huh? What do you mean?
It's a big enough space for a decent crowd.
Oh yeah, absolutely. well, yeah, I had to think about that. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, well, we were talking about doing like different things there.
Yeah,
So so I'm looking forward to that. I got stuff lined up, coming up this spring, fall, this spring. So I'm working on things. We're both. He's picking up the phone right here. He's making moves, and he's picking up the phone on live right now. So, well, obviously I'm making moves as well, because I just said it. But he's over here having a conversation with somebody on live show right here.
No, I didn't. At the same time, I didn't want to neglect the call because I got a lot of shows coming up.
Okay.
And March is kicking it off. I got 4 shows.
See how busy he is? He just picks up the phone like, yeah, I'm on the show right now.
I'm sorry.
I'm on the show right now. But you know what?
I apologize.
We'll be able to talk business right now,
this.
and we'll get this show on the road.
I got back-to-back heavy hitters at Champions on the 28th and 29th, and then I got 2 shows on the same day on the 30th. I got the 28th, 29th, 2 on the 30th. And I'm already planning shows catapulted months away now, so I'm about to start picking back up again.
I said 19 is gonna be a different year.
Yeah.
A different year, and
got it. Hey, look, you got.
It's
starting.
It's
what you did every year.
It's starting out to be better. Look, we're getting a new studio. I got new equipment. You're doing new things. You know what I'm saying?
What you trying to do that's different in 2019, or like something that you haven't experienced?
You want to build. You want to build. Well, I want to build on the successes that I have built on in the past. So I want to add a different stepping stone to this year. Another different, another new, another first. Just something out of the ordinary. Listen, we're gonna go back. We're gonna go to a new, a much bigger studio than this. I mean, this, one room of what we have is this room. One room dwarfs this whole entire place.
There. Wow.
So over there is like
space is crazy.
Twice the size of this room, and we only use a quarter of this whole entire space.
So we want to do more of.
We're gonna do a lot more recording. I'm gonna probably find myself at the studio more because of the unlimited potential. You can't. Of course, I love this spot, and the spot grows on you with all the stuff that you got here. Yeah. It's like this perfectly weird cut out spot. You got mannequin bodies there. You got banners here with rings in the back promoting Valentine's Day.
Airplane, like I don't know where.
Every so often he's got lit candles, and we got these, 1970s, 60s, or 40s style big dome lights. But it works. I like this. We got the half built barn out there, but
still got the mistletoe.
I already said that.
Meets Valentine's Day with the marriage rings.
Oh, look at that. We got the glasses. We got the glasses back here too. They were promoting a lot of Valentine's stuff last night on this show, or not last night. last week. They're still on. It's still on.
I'm
So
sitting over there looking at open mic night for comedy shows. Wait a minute.
we're still. It seems like we're still promoting Valentine's.
Word.
So but no, back to what I'm saying. You know, it's our home. It's been our home for quite some time now, right? 2 years. 2 years. And this was only to be temporarily. But we were trying to use temporary space to our maximum ability. But I was the one who told Ruben, I said, listen, by the time you get started construction on this, you're going to have to move to the other place. And it's exactly what's happening. You know, it was only going to be 2 years, and I said, oh, why even do anything here? And then, you know, we ended up staying here, and, you know, longer than expected, and, you know, we're actually gonna move into a actual studio.
It's like a condominium.
We're moving from the hood to the suburbs. You know what I'm saying? So like people can actually come to our studio now. You know?
It's like,
not saying that people don't. I'm just saying.
It's like moving from like Walnut to like Klockner.
I mean, look, this cornerback here looks like Uncle Harry's. You know,
somebody's wedding dress.
Yeah, it looks like Uncle Harry's attic over
they
here.
actually got filing cabinets. Like, you could donate those back to the library.
No, those cabinets have been here since the old company was here.
Where's that one chair that got the air brake leak in it?
You're
it's
sitting
mine.
in
Yeah, that's why I'm on my knees.
You're sitting in there. I knew I didn't have it, so but yeah, you know, I'm looking forward to us to you know, moving forward into another spot, another location. In other news, you know, hopefully we can move forward. It appears that Donald Trump has $9 billion to build a wall. He's pulling it from the military defense program. So yeah, we're gonna get a wall. I mean, I don't know if it's ever gonna be built by the time his term is done, but as of right now, we are getting a wall.
He's also getting sued by a whole bunch of people right now too, and that has to go all the way up to the Supreme Court.
Hey, I don't put it. I wouldn't put it past me. I wouldn't doubt it.
I mean, they're gonna lose a couple of dates at court. They're gonna lose, but then it's gonna get kicked up higher and higher and higher to the courts, and then it finally lands on the lap of the Supreme Court. And by that time, it might actually all fall through or go through, but it'd be surprising, you know, if it doesn't, and they really find it unconstitutional. And you know, enough people rally in behind it. But California is suing them. A whole bunch of different states are suing because it's unconstitutional.
Unconstitutional for
to declare a national emergency specifically over the wall, because like just one of the issues in itself is, you know, it's a whole bunch of national emergencies.
There's no national emergency about immigration. Listen, there might be a caravan coming here, but we know outside influences are paying those caravans to try to drum up more chaos, to get, you know, to do what exactly is what's going on.
Because I brought up the
just
fact,
so they can spend more worthless money.
I brought up the fact. I said, why
so
is Flint, Michigan, a state of emergency with the drinking water, and one of and that's just one. That's just one. You know, specifically, especially with Flint, because
Trenton has an issue with drinking water.
Yeah, Trenton as well. But you know, somebody chimed in and went, "That's not a national emergency. It's more of a city and / state emergency." Well, why isn't nothing being done? You guys can't kick. Like they need $157 million. Y'all haven't shelled so much as $10 million to these people. You know, and Puerto Rico's already planning to sue if they happen to borrow the money from them. You know, but he said that he's taking it from the military defense team, right? From the military defense fund, Okay, now we talking about the military defense fund. Regardless how you see it, it's us that's paying for it because everything that pretty much endorses the military to the cops to all of them comes from taxpayer dollars. Everybody but Mexico.
Mexico ain't paying for that ball.
It's like that. Okay.
Unless he uses the capture of El Chapo.
Wait, hold on.
as the
Everybody want to
version.
say, he wants to stand on the campaign promise. He's standing on the campaign promise that, he's going to build the wall. So even if he has to consider it a national emergency, he's going to, a campaign promise. But guess what? What also was intertwined with that same campaign promise that he said, I promise you, Mexico is going to pay for it. So then you shut down your government, and it costs you $11 billion when you went as far up as wanting $5 billion for the wall.
Maybe he's making business. He's making a deal with El Chapo. If he lets him go, he gets the billions.
I don't know if people know that if you look at like if you watch like C-SPAN or something like that over time, when I worked at the college, we had those news stations on. And I'm sure there's a lot of things that people don't realize is that one, going all the way back to Bush and Clinton, actually going back to Clinton, a lot of military admirals sat at the White House, the board of chief, staff people told the president that we make so many weapons and airplanes for fighter jets that sit there for decades, never being used, and we keep making new ones. And we don't even use the ones that we made. Even like they said, like the year before, we spent like $1 trillion on airplanes.
$1 trillion.
And
Wait. Say that again. Who spent $1 trillion on it?
The government.
The who?
The White House.
The White House.
Yeah.
Do you understand that all of that stuff comes from taxpayer money?
Right.
So stop saying that the White House paid for it and that the government paid for it. We paid for it.
Right. People. Well, you know what I mean. What I'm trying to just do is get to the point.
Nothing is government funded.
I understand that, right? But what I'm trying to say is that money, you say taxpayers' money, is not being used wisely. So there's a lot of money that we all pay, and it's not being used wisely. And even the military admirals said that we have so many planes and jets and ships that we don't even use, and you spend billions and billions of taxpayers' money, and we don't even use it. Why you keep wasting and spending more and more and more? They said they spend so much money on the military that there's actually enough to actually pay the military for their services and still have enough equipment to fight like 5 wars 10 times over.
Hey, what's this guy's name? Jay Blessel?
Jay Blessel, yeah.
He said
infect the military.
He said, I supported him while the election was going on because I thought he would do great things for the country. But instead of spending billions of dollars on this ridiculous wall, fix the explicit word effing highways. As an over-the-road truck driver, I would prefer to have money spent to fix the crumbling roads and bridges across the country. My spine will thank him for it. Yeah. I'm a truck driver, too.
I believe that, yeah. So that's a pretty good point.
Water lines now, there are some bridges being fixed by states and stuff like that. Like the turnpike was redone.
Well, that's supposed to be done.
Yeah.
It's not because of he said it.
No, states took, I think.
I mean, but he is correct. Mm-hmm. Our country's infrastructure is
horrible.
It's horrible.
Look at the tunnel.
But what is he going to do about it?
Like
he hasn't done shit about it.
Exactly. Look at, for instance, like our former ridiculous governor, Chris Christie. He stopped the funding project of the New York Tunnel. That New York tunnel, the tunnel, unfortunately, the same words as Trump. They said, well, if New York wants that tunnel built, let New York pay for it, right? But it's supposed to be a joint effort between New Jersey and New York. That's why you have the Port Authority Commission, the two states to join together at borders. Yeah. And New York is ready to build their side, but Chris Christie put a hold onto that new tunnel. And that new tunnel was supposed to allow more express trains into Manhattan. And we have people, as you know, that live in New Jersey that work in Manhattan, and people that live in New York work in New Jersey. So it's a cross state, effort. So
Speaking of, because it's all centered around where the money's kicking up to for this wall.
Right.
I say we make people in Congress take a pay cut and have until they reach 5 point whatever billion.
Take a pay cut.
Mhm.
Listen, they ain't taking no pay cut.
Well, I mean, just it ain't gotta be major. Just
They're
do
taking
it
payments.
over the course.
They're all about taking payments. They ain't taking about pay cuts.
Over the course
Just
of
to
some
show
amount of
you.
years.
if they can find money for the regular things except for the important stuff, like road infrastructure, bridges, water, sewage, new transportation system. Look at actually, I don't know if anybody saw my Facebook thing, where China outbeats us 5 times over. They don't let nothing stop in their way for building roads and bridges. If they wanted something,
I mean, they're like one of the number of
they'll build
suppliers of steel, though.
yeah.
Yeah,
And,
look at their country.
Yeah, they're definitely like the number one
And,
suppliers of steel.
and I mean, they don't even let mountains stop going. They build bridges around the mountain. They don't say like, oh, that's impossible. They find a way to get it done.
They got all the steel in the world. They should.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we have steel here too.
Yeah, but they one of our main suppliers.
Oh yeah.
For
no.
steel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know that.
they got steel for They got steel for steel.
Steel was- and but there's a lot of I think one is the most actually here in I think in Michigan or in Pennsylvania, one is the most actually went back into operation after being closed down for like 10 years. I think they it said it'll take like 6 months for them to get everything fired up. That's how long it takes for the machinery and everything to get fired up. It takes like 6 months.
Point blank though, I say make Congress pay for the wall since Mexico is not going to pay for the wall. You feel like paying for a wall? Ruben, you feel like I don't want nothing coming out of my check, and don't
It's all
threaten
about
me with
it's
no
all
government
the wall.
shutdown.
The wall's about kickbacks. It's not about trying to keep people
That
out.
was a kamikaze move to shut your own government down, which cost $11 billion when you shut the government down. You were asking for 5. They wanted to give you 1, but $11 billion is what that shutdown
Because people
cost.
come in other ways too. I mean, you might as well build a wall in the sea.
That's because it's not a real threat. Listen, you know who? If you build a wall, let's say you actually successfully build a wall on Mexico, a lot of the drug addicts here are going to be trying to climb over to get back over there because they want that wall open. Then not to mention the fact that you want to sit there, and it's going to piss off the CIA, it's going to piss off the DEA, because all of them are part of the Contra that has been in effect for a very long time, and it all started with undercover operations. And what happened is that a lot of these military personnel and all this other stuff started crossing over and working for Pablo Escobar and El Chapo and them. They went so undercover that they lost their selves and their characters. Have you ever seen the movie Blow? If you ever see American Made, if you see numerous movies that they remake over and over and over again, it always starts with the one unsuspecting white guy, and he just happens to know how to fly a plane, and then somehow he's so good that the government offers him a job and go, you know what, your flight record is awesome, and this is that and the third, you should come work for us. Somehow he gets caught up in the drug ring with cartels, and now he's working for both of them. Like on a movie American Made with Tom Cruise. Blow is with Johnny Depp. They're the same movie. They're literally the same movie. But Tom Cruise works for an airline, and he's very good. But at the same time, his career is kind of crumbling. And one of his cousins, whatever, is like hooked up with, a lower level cartel person. But he wound up working something out where he actually shipped the kilo to where it had to go. And the guy goes, well, hey, that was kind of easy. He was like, I need you to do that for me again. And he's making good money on it. Ship 1 kilo over, he gets like $10,000.
Right.
So now he's like, I got to do it again. The guy's like, yeah, if you could do that just one more time, do it one more time for me. Here. And he got his own plane, so he flies it, does it again. Then the guy's like, I want to introduce you to somebody. He's meeting big names like Pablo Escobar. He's meeting all of them. Then when he finally go over there to Mexico and all of that, to go meet them, they're like, listen, we need you to ship 1,000 kilos. He's like, wait a minute. 1,000. Nobody said nothing about that. Here, your kickback is $10 million. He's like, 10 million? And all I got to do is take that and fly it to 3 different destinations. They're like, yeah. All the way to the point to where he can't get out. Now he can't get out. But at the same time, the agencies,
I'd be flying away.
now the agencies here are catching on. The CIA, the DEA, everything. So now they're like, listen, we could easily bust you. The White House even knows about you. The president knows your name. But we need you to get undercover operations to see who the big fish are, because they got tired of arresting what they thought were the big fish over here in America. They like, no, it's coming from overseas. It's coming from over the borders and stuff. So now he's stuck in a dilemma where he has to work for the cartels and he has to work for the government at that. So they're planting him with wires and cameras like all inside the airplanes and everything. And as he gets deeper and deeper and deeper into the trenches with these cartels, the messed up part about the movie American Made is he upgraded from the small planes, he upgraded to a jumbo jet. Now he has a jumbo jet. I mean, he had money, he didn't even know what to do with. So he has a jumbo jet. The government, our government, and it's all a true story, said we're going to put cameras and stuff all inside the airplane. So when you go over there, we want to see them help you bringing the stuff in. Sure enough, he has Pablo Escobar. He has all of them lugging these wheelbarrows into this big jumbo jet. He has all the evidence that the government needs. What do? Run the entire story right on the news. Not even blanking out the cartel's faces or nothing. Not even blanking out his face. So our news is showing him setting them up. And they said, oh, we apologize. That slipped. They wasn't supposed to air that. And that's how he eventually got killed. Because then he had to not only duck the cartels, but he had to duck the government as well. But the whole time he was recording himself on through camcorder. And he would go to a hotel and he would stay there and he would record himself, and then he'd go to another, but he'll leave the tapes there, and he'd go to another hotel, he'd record himself, leave it like smart. Like he knew he was going to die. So he went all across America to all of these different hotels and stashed them like in walls, stashed them like behind toilets and like all this other stuff. And that's how the story got put out there. Oh, really? But the movie Blow and American Made, and along with countless others, are the same thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's deep.
Mm-hmm. True stories, and it's called they're called the Contra. The Contra, which I'm quite sure y'all have heard of it. And then at the very end of that movie is real presidents, and like they're asking, like they're taking questions from like all of the audience and everything, and they go, so Bush, does the Contra really exist? Yeah, so we're gonna talk about this over here. Then they ask the next president, Clinton, and them, yeah, so does the Contra really exist? They ignore them and then answer all the other questions around them. That's because they know that it exists and they know that it's real. And it's CIA and DEA funded. Like all of them, like they're protecting that. They're giving these guys the guns. Like they're giving these guys like all of this other stuff. Right. And trust me, they could have been shut a lot of the border down, coming in the water, coming over everything. But they're working with them.
Exactly. I was going to say too, even at that border wall, like you're saying.
It's called the CIA-sponsored Contra. Right. Sorry.
Oh no, you're right. And there's things that I know. Perhaps, I'm trying to figure out how I can put it where I don't have to say it too publicly. I come from a military background as well, and my father works in the secret government too, and
it's crazy how he talks about the government. His father works for the government.
Yeah.
Hey, look.
Well,
I ain't nervous about a damn thing. I don't come from shit.
I can't say much.
Can't take nothing from nothing.
But I don't live with my natural father. I live with my stepfather. I live with my stepfather. I can't say. And my biological father just told me that I can't even tell you some things that goes on around the world that I know. And just take it for granted. I wish I had a different lifestyle, but it came with the job.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad was in the military, Air Force, went to the FBI, CIA, and then to the secret government.
on all levels. Look at the movie American Gangster. True stories,
Yeah.
because we're talking about Frank Lucas here.
Yeah.
3/4 of the New York Police Department were indicted or arrested, put away in prison. 3/4.
I believe it.
Because he had all of them on camera, he had all of them on wire. Once he knew he was going down, and all of the years and stuff he was facing, like people always be like, Frank Lucas was a snitch, Nicky Barnes was a snitch. Right. Difference is both of those guys told, because they're both alive now. Mm-hmm. They're both alive and pretty much free. Right. The difference between them telling both from Harlem was that Nicky Barnes told on his crew. He told on his crew and other crews he was working with, the mob and all this other stuff. Mm-hmm. When Frank Lucas told, it was stuff that really cleared his name. Right. It was judges, 3/4 of the New York Police Department. Mm-hmm. It was government officials. It was all type of other people. Right. And it was a lot of military personnel, because we were dealing with at the time when like they were actually getting their supply from the mob. The mob was getting theirs from the French Connect. Right. He had so much money that he was out topping them. And he was like, well, how about I just fly over to Taiwan to go get it myself? Mm-hmm. And he flew over there where the poppy fields were. And he also had a cousin that worked in the military in the U.S. Army. Yeah. So they worked out some type of deal. And he was like, yo, we're going to smuggle them through the dead Army vets, through their coffins and stuff. And all of that's true accounts. Yeah. And he put all of those kilos and all of that stuff in those coffins and shipped them over here to where he, was over the mob back then. He was over the French Connect back then. He was over everything pretty much back then. And he was doing it on his own.
And I forget too, they also use submarines too.
I mean, to be worth over $400 million, and we talking like in the 50s and 60s, that's billionaire status like today. Real quick, man, because I actually made a promise to a person that tuned in. So I want to shout out my girl, Tiana Walters. I want to shout you out because I said if you tune in, I was going to give you a shout out because she was going through a lot. She's going through a lot of stuff, and I'm sorry, but because we are already on topics. I tried to convince her to call in just to get some stuff off of her chest, but she's shy.
Shout out to Jay.
Yeah, so Tiana's shy. She doesn't want to call in. Shout out to Jay, man. That was a very, very good. That was a very good response. Tiana, just to let you know, we see you. I hope the situation, actually, gets better. But anytime, feel free to call in, man, chop it up with us and all of that stuff, man. But yeah, so that's a long-standing history that between our government, our country, and the dirty little secrets and indulging of other third world countries all have a relationship together. It's almost like a sex fest.
They've been doing that shit for years.
And nobody's gonna blow a whistle on it. Nobody's gonna blow a whistle on it because everybody's in too deep. Like they've all been in a relationship since the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. What president's gonna come and try to stop that now? Like when he said he's gonna build a wall and all this other stuff, yeah, the cartels will feel a little pinch, and people here feel a little pinch, but the people who are gonna be pissed off the most are inside your own fucking government. They're gonna be the most pissed off because now you're messing up business. It ain't business as usual.
Shout outs.
Shout out to you, Ralph, man. Shout out to Ruben, man. Shout out to this whole conversation, man. Shout out to everybody that tuned in. Shout out. I'm gonna say her name 1,000 times. Tiana. But shout out to my mom, my family, man. She with the kids, man. Shout out to everybody, man, with love inside their hearts, that's trying to do better, that actually wants better, man. If you want better, think it first, and then you speak it into existence, and it'll happen. It'll all turn around for you. Might not be today, might not be tomorrow, but as long as you think better, it's gonna happen eventually. You could only be down but for so long, and when you've been down for too long, the only other way to go is where?
What's up?
Up.
Shout outs to Hounds Radio. For always giving us a platform. Shout out to you, Billy, for being you. Shout out to my wife and my daughter and my son. It's crazy, right? I'm still getting used to saying all that. Shout out to everybody that touches my life throughout the day. Shout out to everybody who's in my life. Shout out to all the viewers, listeners around the world, locally. on Facebook.
Even the people that left out of our lives, we're not mad at you. We understand.
Sorry, yeah, we're too much to handle sometimes. It's alright, it's all good. But continue to follow us. We are going to be working on, a couple guests soon. I'm not sure the status of when we'll be going to the other place. But they are working on it. It's soon.
It's lavish.
It's soon. So yeah, we're gonna once we have I guess an ETA, we'll start booking, artists and
Yeah, we're waiting for
the CO.
the CO.
CO.
So once we get that, then we'll have an estimated.
Don't try to create no crazy little Pornhub room that's just for you.
Yeah, there's already one in there.
Right. All his little nasty shenanigans.
He said that he was talking about that one closet. I was like, that one closet.
That one closet, the one that had all of them blow up dolls in it.
I didn't see that.
You a nasty man. You a nasty, nasty man.
That's the Billy the Kid collection.
No, it ain't mine because you blew yours.
No, they're not blow up. It's like they're those real looking dolls.
You want the androids?
Yeah, them. The difference between mine and his though is that he actually take time to blow his all the way up. I don't have patience for that. I just blow them up halfway, fold them over, and hump the bubble. Sorry, Mom.
You had that sophisticated doll though. We're the Freestyle Freaks. I'm Ralph Ryan, also known as DJ Noise. This is Billy the Kid. We are out. Shout out to Ruben back there on the tables. Maybe when we go into the new place, maybe we'll make you a part of this show. Because we're always talking to you.
Yeah, get him from he's
right?
like the voice that like you hear it all the time, or like you might see him, but like you don't know how they look.
You ever watch freaking what is it?
Yeah, just like Home Improvement with the guy that's
Home Improvement. I was just gonna say that.
Who else? The guy from Inspector Gadget. Like he's always in a chair, and like you see his arm, but you never see his face.
Boy Meets World. The guy that's I guess it was always a guy that never came out of his yard or something.
Yeah, that was a Home Improvement. And then, the fact that he's not a lady, but he's the guy version of the lady from the Muppet Babies. You never seen her face, but you always seen her legs when she walked in.
Yeah.
You're like every mysterious person.
They talking about like Charlie's Angels.
You're like, that's how he looks? Oh my gosh. I always thought it was like this tall, handsome black dude, but instead it's this half-bald beige guy. I don't know.
Well, again, we're Freestyle Freaks on HelmsRadio.net. I'm Ralph Rodden. This is Billy the Kid. It's Ruben over there on the tables.
Somewhere back there.
And we're out. Till next week. Peace. That was not a bad show.